Okay, this is a recording of the information I gave in the data visualization session this week about the project and how the project is organized for the rest of the semester. I'm taking some notes as I go, not to forget to say some things. Okay. So about the projects. There will be two projects that you have to do. One is really focusing on exploration. The other one is focused on explanation, so communication. Later in the semester, there will be a lecture specific on data visualization for communication and what to look out for and stuff like that as well. So we'll not be discussing that now. And that's not a project that you'll be doing first. The first project is focusing on exploration. This project is done in groups of 3 students, and each student gets a data set and a user. At the end of this slide deck, which is also available on Toledo, there's an overview of all the different data sets and the different users. But by the time you see this recording, you will have been assigned to a specific data set and a user anyway. So what you are expected to do, so you are to go through the visual design phase. So actually exploring design space for good ways for visualizing that data. And you can use different methods if you want. So one of them is the easy diverge, emerge, converge. Here's a camera. So the diverge, emerge, converge method, sort of double diamond. But other methods like using a critique is also possible, of course. So you have to go through the visual design phase, and then you'll be implementing at least 3 data visualizations in a Marimo notebook. Next week, I'll have a session. I'll record that as well. I'll have a session on implementation of data visualization, and basically what we will do is we will go through part of this tutorial. So that's a tutorial that I wrote specifically for this course. So basically where we go over basically how to create data visuals from first principles, so not from selecting from a list. So why 3 data visualizations? That's because I want everyone in the group to be the owner of one specific visual, right? So if there's only 2 people in the group, then it would be 2 data visualizations. At least one should be interactive, and as I said, so each student should take ownership of one specific visual. And then basically there will be a report that you have to write as well for this particular project. The data and the user that I mentioned here, right? The data and the user is basically, it's a PhD student of our group who takes the role of that particular user, and you'll be able to communicate with them through Discord. So I sent out a message on Toledo a while back to register on Discord, and this is the actual Discord server for this course. And basically once you know what data set and which persona you're assigned, then basically each combination of data set and persona has its own channel here, right? So you can discuss things there. You can discuss things here with people in your own group. You can discuss things with people from a different group who work on the same data. That's okay. And you can discuss things with a PhD student here, right? There's also a voice channel here if you want a simple and easy way to just talk to each other as well. I don't know if that's actually visible. Let me see if I can. No, I can't zoom in. Okay. In the report as well, it's the aim of the report is doing data visualization, not data pre-processing, transformation and stuff. That will be necessary to be able to get data in the right format to actually do visualizations, but that's not the point of the report, right? The second report, like I mentioned, is on communication. That report is individual, so not per group. But you basically take one of the visuals that you created in the other report, in the other project, and you optimize it for communication and clarity, right? Like I said, we'll go over this later, what that would look like in a different lecture. Basically, I'll go over data visualization for communication, how it's different from data visualization for exploration. So the reports, yes, there will be different, okay, right. Let me just look what is coming. Okay, so there's report templates. This is one of them. So this is basically a report template that is available on Toledo. Next, I changed something, so there will be a new version online with a newer date here. And basically, yeah, so we'll ask you to give some metadata to explain things on the visual design part and things on the implementation part, right? And based on that, like what findings did you find using that exploration, what worked, what didn't work, and individual contributions. So the main parts are the visual design and the implementation, right? Yeah, so actually, so this is now, I can change this, wait a sec, I can change this, I think. Let me check, yes, I can. So from the report, we removed the description of the data and the user because we know what that is. So you don't have to do that. Voila. So basically, so there's two reports, right? So one is on exploration, the other one is on communication. Now the exploration report will have to be submitted twice. The first time, it will have the project description and the visual design, so the drawing. And the second time, the same report will also include the implementation and these points. Right? The reason is, well, we will be grading the visual design separately from the implementation anyway, but also we want to make sure that once you are able to implement something, that you don't start tweaking the visual design to make it match the implementation, right? It should be the other way around. I'll get back to timing in a second as well. So the second project, the report will have the original visual from the exploration part, then the final visual, what changes you made and why, and for both, the report should be in PDF. For the evaluation, this is preliminary, right? Important, it's preliminary, but this will be the weighing between the two different parts. Exploration will be 16 out of 20 points. The communication will be 4 out of 20 points, except if I notice that exploration was really bad and communication was really good with everyone, then I might tweak that a little bit, but normally not. But the minimum to pass a course is that you have 10 out of 20 for the total, including at least 4 out of 16 for project 1 and 1 out of 4 for project 2. Right? So just to make sure that you definitely submit something. So for project 1, the evaluation is peer evaluation, which means that what we'll do, the moment that we get all the reports, the deadline of the submission, I will distribute all those reports anonymized to all of you again, right? So each student will get 3 reports from other groups, right? And and you basically will go through those using a score sheet, and I'll give you an idea of what that looks like in a second. And basically, so each group will be evaluated by 3 different students, and that information, I will be using that information for my evaluation as well. It's not that I will add those 3 gradings together. That's not how it works, right? But it gives me information. For the total score of a group, of an individual, of each of you, it's based on two things. One is the between group peer evaluation. That's what I mentioned here, right? So it's double blind, so the you will not know who is reviewing your report, but also you will not know whose report you are reviewing, right? And based on that between group peer evaluation, each group gets a score. So all the 3 students will have the same score. Let's say 15, right? For example, all students get a 15 within a group. And then there's a within group peer evaluation where we basically stratify within a group. So if one student put in a lot of more effort than the others, for example, that student could get a +1 or +2. But always it goes from +2 to -2, and the sum always has to be 0. So if there's someone getting a +2, then at least either the 2 others get a -1, or one of the 2 gets a -2, and the third student gets a 0. Well, a 0 adjustment, right? And that again is input for me to give a final grade. And again, I want to stress this is not just me adding all those things together, right? About the score sheets, all right, so I have an example of a score sheet here. So this is a score sheet, there's 2 score sheets. One is for the designs and one is for the implementation. And for the designs, basically they look like this. An example question here for the 3 reports you have to review. Like, is design space export? And it's always poor, sufficient, or good. With poor, so that means it always, this is what it means. So the explored design space is very limited. For example, because the designs are very similar, and in this case, so these are very similar things. So that would be a +0. Right? Sufficient is that yes, there are different charts, but they're all quite standard, and which means, for example, they can be implemented in R. Right? And then good is, well, interesting designs for export, right? So some novel visuals or some novel ways of using existing visuals. And I'll be sharing this on Toledo as well. So that's what a score sheet looks like. For the second project, so for the communication, there's no peer evaluation. That's just me going through all the different project reports. The timing of everything. So this week we start with the exploration projects. So you all have gotten your, well, you all should know now which datasets you are analyzing, for which persona, and who are your group members, right? Then on the 3rd of April, we expect a report submission, just including the first 2 questions. Let me get back to the report template. So that we want the report with just part 1 and part 2 filled in. Part 3, 4, 5, and so on not filled in yet. Just 1 and 2. And on 27th of April, we want you to submit the full report, which is basically, you don't touch parts 1 and 2, but just you fill in 3 to 5. 3 to, what is it, 6 or something. And then the 29th, we hope to start the evaluation phase of all those different reports, okay? Now, the 11th of May, we start with the communication, because on the 4th of May, we have the, I think the 4th of May, we have the explanation, the lecture on visualization for communication. And 2 days later, there's the deadline for submitting the evaluation reports, okay? And the 25th of May, there's the submission of the communication reports, okay? Now, what datasets look like, I won't go into this because actually it will be, everything is in the slides themselves, and the PhD students, they know everything about this. I'm not an expert in these datasets, but you know already which dataset you have to use, so you can go onto Discord to actually ask questions to the PhD student. Is there anything else I need to mention? Probably, but I will have forgotten. Let me see if there's something else. No. I don't think so. No, that'll be it. If there's questions about your data sets or anything about the projects, yes, ask them on Discord. It is okay to help each other out, right? So you can help people from another group, but the people who actually get the help, make sure you acknowledge the person who helped you in your report as well, right? What else? I think that's the main part. If there's anything else, I will post an announcement on Toledo. Enjoy the coding.